It would not be Shangri-La, paradise on earth, the Tibetan utopia, without Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Today, I rented a car and drove all the way across Yunnan province to a Tibetan autonomous prefecture called Lijiang. Our journey starts in Shangrila, a work of Western fiction about a Tibetan utopia from the 1933 novel Lost Horizon. Think like El Dorado, but Tibetan. Supposedly, a perfectly harmonious and mystical city in the Kunlun Mountains. It somewhat ironically exists here in Yunnan's Tibetan region, far from those mountains, as the local government decided to rename the very real, historical Tibetan city of Gyaltang to Shangri-la to honor the great Western fan fiction. Or was it just to convince tourists to come? Who knows? But join me in this video where I will make a multi-day journey across Yunnan to search for the real Shangri-la, and surprisingly, the world's last hieroglyphic language.
Look at the surveillance tree. That's usually, like, they have these countries around the world. It's not unique to China, but like the trees with the cameras or like megaphones or like a flood warning, something, right? And they're disguised as an evergreen. This might be the least convincing one I've ever seen. Look at it standing tall above these ancient Tibetan buildings and a parking lot.
Yeah, you can kind of tell it's a Tibetan area due to the surveillance state.
The other most important piece of Shangri-La is, oh, look at that, you can get a beef Wellington.
Oh shit.
You can get a nice steak. I'm sure it's pretty expensive. Is that a Pizza Hut beef Wellington? What the f***? Let's see where it is. Oh no, wait, it is open, I think. No, it's under construction. Well, there's the Tibetan Pizza Hut, the Tibetan coffee shop. What other things does the mythical, lost Tibetan utopia have to offer? It has, as if there wasn't enough already, it has caricatures of ethnic people and an ice cream store. This really is paradise. Oh, and you have a Starbucks, and it says in English here, the Starbucks has been, let's see, we've been waiting for you. Well, thank you, Tibetan Starbucks.
Shangri-La is not what I expected so far, but it's time to go check out the real city and get away from all the misspellings.
Let's see what else Shangri-La has to offer. Oh, looks like a music place upstairs. You have the 214 live huos.
Okay, that's the last misspelling in the video.
And then you have some pieces of memory.
Now, this is interesting. The red soldier is representing a unit of China's long march that went as far as Tibet during the strategic retreat that allowed Chinese communists to blindside the KMT and win the war. It's a controversial presence for many in the West.
They ended the caste system. Credit where that's due. There they are, the Tibetan Mastiff. Some of the most aggressive guard dogs in the world, taking a nice sun bath next to one of the world's biggest prayer wheels. You know, there's a lot of, as you can see here with the soldiers, there's a lot of Red Army kind of, how do I put it? Not propaganda necessarily, but memorabilia mixed with propaganda. And the reason for that is this is one of the last points that the Chinese Red Army during the Civil War managed to make it. The communists traveled 6,000 miles in a excessively long-winded path. Rather than going through the heartland of China, they had to go around as far as Tibet to avoid conflict. And up to 30 to 40% of people died on the terrible conditions on the way. The most high-tech shrine. You can QR code, send money. You had to climb some stairs to get to this temple. I'm not really sure who these people are. But at the top of the stairs, you just hear people breathing through, heavy breathing through oxygen masks because, you know, canned oxygen is kind of the specialty up here. Since we're at such a high elevation. And a substantial portion of people here are tourists, right? They're not used to the altitude. Neither am I. but I have a good lung capacity, so it's no problem for me. But after those stairs, I'll admit, you can get out of breath pretty easily. You know, from a distance, this thing looks motorized because it's just spinning all day, non-stop. But what's actually happening is people are holding the rails down there, doing laps. You're supposed to do 7 laps. That's some type of prayer. Some drama has ensued because someone's tried to turn it the wrong way and stop the whole show. They're back in business now, though. Time to go find out how heavy this thing is. Oh, it's stopped again. They need my help. Oh, okay. Oh, it's heavy as fuck, actually. Now, if you spin this with an uncalm mind, you won't get the benefit from it. It's supposed to help you further achieve enlightenment. Each full circle is the same as reciting the prayers on the wheel itself.
Yeah, I only made it about 3 circles. Maybe I need to hit the gym. I'll admit though, despite the over-commercialization, and I mean a lot of commercialization, guys, like fast food levels in America.
Want to meet you unexpectedly. Pizza Hut, good lucky. Oh, and the Tibetan Apple Store.
Shangrila is as beautiful as the name implies. Even the shrines are more prosperous than other Tibetan cities, with the offerings consisting of quite expensive alcohol, which is quite the contrast if you come from a place where the Buddhists don't drink very often. But let's move on. I worked up an appetite spinning that giant prayer wheel, so let's go see what kind of local Tibetan food we can find in the old town. This time, I think skipping the Tibetan Pizza Hut.
There he is. Let's get a good look at his face. That is an unhappy looking face. That's good enough for me. And reasons like that are why you don't get the yak sashimi. We have nice fermented yak yogurt. That's the scraggliest fucker. I've never seen scraggle like this. I've been waiting for this moment since the last time we were in Tibet. We got the Tibetan yak pizza. It's pretty good. Yeah, I was able to translate the reviews for this thing, and the reviews were great. But I actually have no clue what it is. Yeah, traditionally it's spun just like the prayer wheel, like 50 to 80 times before you eat one.
After lunch, I visited one of the most important monasteries for Tibetans. Cameras aren't allowed here, but I took some clips anyways. Don't tell China. Although, somewhat deservedly, my audio actually failed for all of it. Maybe that's karma. Either way, I wouldn't have been able to show much on YouTube anyways, because the Tibetan art here is quite unusual and particularly vulgar, with demon-like Buddhist creatures committing violent sexual acts. Skeletons, organs, and decay being a common motif in this particular complex. For now, it's time to leave the mythical city of Shangri-la though, and head south, where I'll soon leave Tibet for another very bizarre stop.
That car behind me is in the way of that car, who can't continue. That car wanted to turn left, but he couldn't go. This car's stuck. Oh my god. Is he gonna do it? He's gonna do it. Oh. What a disaster. Fantastic. Time to go.
It's time to leave the Tibetan part of Yunnan, hopefully before the sun sets. I'm met with a few police stops along the way, all a little bit confused as to how a non-resident foreigner even got there, let alone how I got my Chinese driver's license. But the police are usually friendly, and I was back on the road in no time. The next stop is the city of Lijiang, and the capital of the remains of a Nashi minority group in China, a slowly dwindling ethnicity that uses the last active hieroglyphic script in the world, which I wanted to go investigate.
Found a nice little stop on the way. Have a bunch of really old mounds as rock piles. I could not even begin to tell you what the significance is, but there is one thing that's particularly amusing about it. This is the most Chinese thing in the world. Even the rocks have eyes. cameras rather. All the flags are just different Buddhist prayers in the Tibetan script. And that's because we're back at the Tibetan border. We're gonna start climbing more in elevation as well. Should be around 4,000, 5,000 meters. Bunch of tablets blocking the road here. All these smoothly stacked rocks. I think they're donors. You have a Mr. Tommy Sharon, Ivan Den Helvin Shami Radya. One of the temples in China is that usually you donate some money, right? And then you can donate to the temple with the QR code.
The sun is setting and I have a few hours left on my drive to Lijiang and the Nashi region of Yunnan, so I'll check back with you guys in the morning.
Welcome to the city of Lijiang, the most preserved ancient city in China and a UNESCO World Heritage Site, home to the Nashi people. Now if you're old, and substantially older than me, maybe you read in a National Geographic a long time ago the significance of it, because it's the last hieroglyphic language that's still alive in the world, and it's spoken mainly here in this tourist center. The Nashi people were given extra privileges by the Ming Dynasty for helping China kind of retain its influence over the region back in the 1300s, and for that they gained a lot of influence in general. This main city area, the ancient city of Lijiang, it is incredibly well preserved. A mixture of Maoist era brick buildings that were destroyed in the earthquake, and then some quite well-aged traditional style buildings, controversially built in a more Chinese style. There it is, World Heritage Site. Quite interesting. I mean, it's pretty at least, right? A bit bastardized, as most things are in China. The cultural theme park, the city's famed for having a more advanced waterway for its time, evident by the water wheel, and it's like an Asian Venezia, right? Chinese version. We're gonna try some local food, some of the Nashi food, which is more similar to Southeast Asian food, because we are in Yunnan, and actually we're about 100 miles from Myanmar and 150 miles from India.
On my way to find a legit Nashi restaurant, I got to learn some of their hieroglyphics, specifically for McDonald's and, well, surprisingly, African bongos.
My first stop of the day is one of the many Nashi restaurants. Oh, that tea's good. One of the many Nashi restaurants in the Old Town area. I feel bad coming into these restaurants at random times, because usually if you show up at like any restaurant in China at 3 p.m, you're going to interrupt the family's lunch because everyone's just sitting down eating, and that's what we did today. On the wall they have old pictures of the city. It was destroyed, not all of it, but many of it was destroyed in the 1996 an earthquake. Ordered a kind of specialty, right, like a party, usually something you order for the table, and we have this nice face. It is obscene. It looks really good though. Look what's just arrived. This fish. This is more food than we could possibly. We're going to be here for a little while. Ah.
I quite liked the Nashi food, and they gave us some free rice wine, presumably homemade, which seems much easier to drink than one would expect.
Since it's fried, you can just eat the bones. Chili powder. It's really good. That whole thing cost $4. Close enough.
Well, we mostly finished the food. Apparently we ordered what was normally an amount for 6 people. Not to be rude though, we ate until we simply couldn't anymore. But upon exit, I was immediately met with one of the worst sounds in the known universe.
What's that?
It seems that the center square has substantial amounts of competition for noise, with different bars preparing for the evening with live music, all seemingly overlapped with each other. and I'm sure any of them would be good on their own, but all at once? Yeah, not so good, guys. Maybe rethink that one. I have to admit, my mission to find more of the Nashi script has not been going so well. Evening quickly came, which meant I had to film, but I suppose I got just a bit carried away. Turns out this ancient Nashi village knows how to party, and all of that horrible overlapping music sounds a lot better with a few beers.
China's most ancient city. Girls dancing on tables. We'll change it up this time. European standard.
Well, I got a bit busy, and I didn't film a proper outro. But regardless, thank you for watching, and subscribe if you want to see the many strange places I'll be filming next. I really am sorry that I've been away so long. Lots has happened lately, but I'll be back on a weekly upload schedule. I'll see you all next time.
We've met the robot barista of China. Mr. Door. His name is Mr. Door, and he's wearing ethnic attire. Interesting, very interesting.